James Ernest of the Gruel and Truth Radio Network here with Kentucky Speedway's Tim Bray. Tim, what inspired the 1.5 mile tri-oval?
Well, I think there was a need in the Midwest for a mile and a half track, and this went back all the way to 1997, 98 when it was thought about, and a couple of guys, and specifically Jerry Carroll, who owned Turfway Park in Greater Cincinnati, the horse racing track, kind of got the bug and saw that NASCAR was very, very popular, and so he ventured out, saw a couple of other tracks, and the next thing you know, he's thinking about putting a track in Kentucky. He always wanted to be in Kentucky because he was here. He knew that there was an opportunity for Kentucky to be a place where he wanted to put the track, and so they started looking for sites, and the next thing you know, the shovel's in the ground, and the largest excavating project in the Commonwealth was built.
So what is Jerry's legacy when it comes to the Kentucky Speedway? Obviously, like you said, he was one of the founders, but more...
Yeah, I think really the legacy goes to having the vision. He's always been a tremendous entrepreneur, and to have the vision to know that cup racing could always be at Kentucky Speedway. It didn't start out that way, obviously. We started here with a truck series race, and the next year, what now is the Xfinity Series came, and in 2001, Kevin Harvick won that first Xfinity, and back then it was the Busch Series that morphed into the Nationwide Series, and now it's the Xfinity Series. But, Jerry sold the track to Speedway Motorsports and Braden Smith, and that's how the Cup Series ended up here. But he knew that was going to something was going to have to happen. But he was the visionary behind knowing that this was a distinct possibility, and Kentucky Speedway was born.
What's your favorite part about the track?
Well, I think the favorite part is just the interaction between fan and driver, fan and team, and we're going through quite a transformation right now. But for the longest time, the history of this sport certainly is built on the fan interaction with the drivers. I mean, there's some legends in this sport. You can go all the way back to the history of the Hall of Fame and all the different classes of that have been inducted in Charlotte in the Hall of Fame. But you see a guy like Darrell Waltrip, who comes from Kentucky, Owensboro, and his brother Michael. They are the ones that are the whole fan experience for here. All of us here in Kentucky, it's built on. But overall, I mean, you see these fans just light up if it's Mark Martin or if it was Jeff Gordon or Tony Stewart. Certainly the late Dale Earnhardt Sr., even Dale Earnhardt Jr. just retired. And all the guys in between, that's the kind of excitement level that I see as something different. I mean, it's almost like college basketball, because and it's more team-oriented or coach-oriented in college basketball, but this is definitely driver-oriented.
In a couple years, you're going to be celebrating that big 20-year anniversary, so not too much longer till that. What's your thoughts?
Well, actually, next year, in 19, because we started in 2000, so actually, 2019 will be the 20th anniversary, and you think of all the things, and my goodness, when they hired me away from KRC, and they were thinking, okay, 5 years, maybe a cup race. It took 11, and and we're still here and cranking it out for the last 8 years. But we've had all kinds of things. things, all kinds of series through here, from open wheel to ASA, and my goodness, we used to run the Legends cars on the quarter mile, and there's nothing better than seeing truck racing. And when they first talked to me about it, and they said, "Well, the first race you're going to see is the NASCAR." At that time, it was what was it, the Craftsman Truck Series, and I thought, what have I got myself into? I'm going to be promoting truck racing, and I just thought, wow, I had no idea. Bengals, Reds, college basketball, college football, and I didn't know too much about truck racing. I certainly knew about the Cup Series, but it's been pretty gratifying over the years. I mean, these guys really, push it hard, and they're quite the athletes.
Everyone knows about your NASCAR events, but what other events does the track hold?
Well, I think the best thing that we do right now is the Tough Mudder, and you have seen the combination of what we do with Tough Mudder is like the Trojan Run, things like that. It's a marathon, but it's certainly not a you go out and try and beat the clock, so to speak. This is more of all the different obstacles that you have to go through, from electric shock to the cold ice treatment, and climbing walls when you've run for like 5.5 miles, and it's over our parking lots and our grassy areas and our camping areas, and it attracts a lot of people. It's the third or fourth year, maybe even 5 years that we've been done it in a row, and it's an amazing event. It's in June. In addition to that, we have a lot of driving schools, so you can come out and learn how to drive a race car, or you just want to get in the passenger seat and take a ride. You can do that too. The Driving 101, which is the NASCAR experience, or the Rusty Wallace driving experience, both of those have dates here at the track. We do balloon launches, and there's all kinds of very smaller events. But the main focus is July 12th through 14th, which is our Quaker State 400 weekend, and we have all three of the national series under one roof, so to speak, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, back to back to back. And that's the only time it happens in the summertime for all of NASCAR. So all this national series are together. And the other part about that that's really cool is that that's the last mile and a half before the playoffs for our Cup Series. So if they're going to get it done, they got to get it done here in Kentucky.
So it sounds like it's huge for the drivers to make sure they get into the playoffs, and just prepare them, the ones that are already in, to make sure they're going in on a high note.
Yeah, and our mile and a half is tricky. Turn 3 probably is the most consistent over the last forever, because we haven't made changes with turn 3, and going into the apex of 4 and back to start finish line. What has changed here over the last 3 years is the turns 1 and 2 have gone to 17 degrees banking. So the crew chiefs really kind of pull their hair out if they haven't got a lot of data yet to figure out how to set up the cars, because they can't set it up for 1 and 2. Or better put, they can't set up the car for the entire track. You either have to go one way or the other. Either set it up for 1 and 2 or 3 and 4. And I think that's really challenging. And these drivers just love the place, because they really have to drive it hard. And if you look at who's won here, every single winner, I don't know how long we can keep this going, but every single winner of the Quaker State 400 has gone on to win the championship. And, that's pretty impressive, from Kyle Busch to Matt Kenseth, obviously Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex last year. So we're thrilled that is, we're bringing out the best.
Exactly. So it sounds like this is a precursor to being a champion, to being a great winner, is coming out and winning at the Kentucky Speedway. With that said, and like you said, there's been a lot of great winners in Kentucky Speedway's history. Who is Mr. Kentucky Speedway?
Wow, that's a hard question. I think you're talking about a driver.
Yeah, from a driver, because like on some of the series, some of the drivers have won multiple times.
Yeah, I kind of lean towards Kyle Busch. I think Kyle Busch is really the person who is behind the success of this place. I mean, he is one of the best restart drivers in all of NASCAR. Maybe he is the best right now, active drivers. He's won every single series at least once, whether it's an ARCA event when he was young to where he is now, who's competing for championships every single year. And, his record in the Xfinity Series is unmatched, and he's going to try to, tie Joey Logano with 3 straight wins in the Xfinity Series this year. So there's a lot of people will probably back me up on that. Then other folks will say Brad Keselowski's had more experience, and maybe he's Mr. Kentucky. But I'd have to go with Kyle.
Sounds good. Not many people know this about the track, but the track record of 221 miles an hour was set by Sarah Fisher. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that was quite a day. Back then, the open wheel cars all had different engines, and it's a different setup than they are today. But Sarah, she got quite a run here, and I can't remember exactly how it all materialized. But one thing is for sure, nobody's ever gone faster, and I don't think anybody will ever go faster. And at least in the sense that it was a qualifying speed, and so the open wheel car was set up that way, and she had out of little Chillicothe, Ohio. I mean, she has had a tremendous career, and you can't take that away from her. And the other cool part about that is that many years later, when she was and still is an owner, she had her car win, and it was actually the last IndyCar race that we staged here at the track. So, it was one of the closest ever. And I haven't seen Sarah cry too much, but she was crying in Victory Lane as Carpenter won that race, and beat Franchini, I believe, by like a wheel well. It was very close.
Most people know about, Turn 3, like you mentioned, about just how difficult of a challenge that is. The other thing that when people think of Kentucky Speedway, they think of the surface. How is the track surface currently?
Well, I think the track surface is the best it's been. Yesterday, we had 5 NASCAR Cup Series drivers here, including Joey Logano and Martin Truex, and in addition to him, we had Clint Boyer, Ryan Newman, and William Byron representing all the different manufacturers for a test of trying to figure out what tire to bring here in July. And I think they all concluded that the track is very stable, and it is we didn't have it touched it, to be honest, and this is the first time in 3 years there hadn't been anything done on it. So they can take the data back and start building a base now, and that's what they want. They want to make comparisons year over year, and this track has been, is resurfaced and, redone and better drainage and all of that back 3 years ago. And now they're going to be able to, really go racing, and it's starting to age a little bit. And I think that's the really positive thing about the resurface. And, they're going to really have a book on it now.
You mentioned earlier about Burton Smith's role in this. Tell us about how he took the track to the next level.
Well, what happened is he purchased the track from Jerry Carroll, that is, and with the intent of having a race here in the Cup Series, and it took it took Burton to pull it off, to be honest about it, because he brought one of the races that he had under his umbrella at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, and they moved it to Kentucky. So that's how the Speedway acquired a Cup race, and we went racing back in 2011 with that first event, and we've been doing it ever since. And Quaker State's been with us, since the beginning.
How have the track and the government been able to work, or local government been able to work together to fix some of the infrastructure? After the first year or so where they had issues, obviously things are nice and smooth now. How were you able to change it?
Well, I think that goes to our general manager. Kudos to him. Mark Simonare has a great relationship in Frankfurt with a lot of folks, and so Mark had led the charge with government officials, and we were able to acquire some land across the street from our ad building off of State Route 35, and that was acquired for parking. And then, the state put in a 5-lane, expanded 35 to 5 lanes, and with 2 full shoulders. So we got 7 lanes out in front of the administration building here, which is one of the main arteries in and out of the track off of I-71. And in addition to that, there is a tunnel that connects that parking lot that's across the street from the ad building to the main viewing area and the main campus, so to speak, of the track. So, and then we've got shuttles that take you right to the front gate. So there's always a ring road. We call it a ring road, but it's basically a shuttle road that shuttles continually run, and that takes you to the main gate to get to your seats. So that's been very, very good. And there's been other things. Back a few years ago, 1039 didn't exist. So State Route 1039 connects I-71 to the Markland Dam, and so that has really helped us too, because that gives us a second intersection. That happened initially, and then in 2011 and 12, that's when the other roads were built and redesigned for our Cup races.
Why has Chevy had such a challenge at the Speedway?
I don't know that question. Jimmy Johnson has been so dominant. I mean, a 7-time winner, a champion almost everywhere. But Jimmy Johnson struggles here, and Hendrick struggles here, and Chevrolet struggles here in the Cup Series. And they had 2 cars here yesterday trying to figure it out. And I foresee them, with the new car and everything. I think they've got a lot of positive things happening, and there's no question that they're going to break through eventually. But they have another series. But you bring up a good point. I mean, Toyota and Ford, they have been in the winner's circle quite a few times, and it has been a long, long time for Chevrolet.
Any good word with next year being the 20th anniversary? Any new races or anything like that possibly?
Nothing that's on the horizon yet to announce, and certainly we're always working towards bigger and better things. But our focus now is just to make our single event, which is the big weekend in July, the biggest and best ever. We had one of the best weekends in all of NASCAR a year ago, and we intend to build on that for 2018.
Give us a rundown of the weekend. What are the order of the races?
Yeah, sure. The Buckle Up in Your Truck 225, which is the NASCAR truck series event, and that's Camping World this year. It'll be Gander Outdoor Truck Series next year. They've got that collective entitlement to the series now announced, and so buckle up in your truck folks in the state. It's been unbelievable. We've done a lot of different things with the state and seat belts and everything. We're just so grateful for them. So that's Thursday, and then they'll practice, qualify, and run Thursday night. Every race is at night. Friday's a great day. UNOH Pull Award will be given to both the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series that day, and of course we'll have practice for the Monster Energy Cup Series. And in addition to that, Xfinity will be on the track, and then we'll run the Alsco 300 at night, beginning at 7:30. And then on Saturday is the big event. Parking lot's open at 7, and we will have activities throughout the day. Our big military appreciation tent is being filled up now, and we'll have driver Q&As there, and we'll have our fan zone fully operational, and we'll have all kinds of things in there. And High Valley is our concert at 5:15, which is an up-and-coming country duo that is up for another award. They've been up for a couple here in the last few months, so we're excited about having them here. And we will also have the Quaker State 400 green flag about 7:40. NBC Sportsnet will have all the coverage and PRN radio, but we really appreciate everybody making it in their summer plans to be here in the extension of the 4th of July weekend. And as I say, we love our date, and it's a very positive place to be right after the 4th and that second weekend in July.
I've heard that there's opportunities for people and organizations to volunteer. Is that true?
Yeah, we do work a volunteer group. We have our ambassador club, and we have our it's amazing how so many people want to participate and be a part of our fan club and our all the things that are about Kentucky Speedway. Our Kentucky Raceway Ministries have got a huge following, and so they're always excited about having people participate with them. And KentuckySpeedway.com is the place to go to. If you go to tickets, or if you go to there for more information on the track or camping, you can always click on contact information, and you can send us a note on that as well, and we'll get back in touch with you.
Yeah, I agree with you about that Kentucky ministry. I mean, I know it's kind of sounds silly, but my son's favorite part of going to the Speedway isn't as much the race as their booth out there in the parking lot where they have the different rides and games and stuff.
Yep.
Oh, he loves it.
Yeah, people love the face painting and all the things that they do, and Trackside Live's coming back, and our display area is second to none in racing. There's no doubt about that. People love to people watch. They like to go shopping with all the different haulers that have the merchandise haulers. So we try to make it an event because goodness knows there's so many things that are surrounding the sport, and we only get one shot at it. So we want to make sure it's really special that second Saturday in July.
Excellent. Before I let you go, what social media, what spots can people learn more about the Kentucky Speedway at?
Sure, at KY Speedway. You can be on Facebook. We can be on, obviously, Twitter and Instagram. And my goodness, we're loaded on everything that you can imagine. And we're very happy about our social media following, and I think Twitter and Facebook probably are the best. You can follow us at KY Speedway, and on Facebook, find Kentucky Speedway. I think
great. I'd like to thank our guest, Tim Bray of Kentucky Speedway, for coming on the show today.
I appreciate all the opportunity. I mean, my goodness, it's been a long time, and so I appreciate it, James, and we'll look forward to the next time.
Sounds great. Thank you, sir.